Empires on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
2015 is almost here, and with it comes those New Year's resolutions to finally transform your body the way you want it. There's a reason over 88% of New Year's resolutions fail. Make this year different by equipping yourself with Oxy Powder, the next level in cleansing the body naturally. Using super oxygenation, Oxy Powder, available through InfoWarsLife.com, gently cleanses the body while you sleep with easy capsules. Tens of thousands of individuals have used Oxy Powder to cleanse their bodies and aid in their transformations. Even InfoWars Nightly News Director Rob Dew has been using Oxy Powder with incredible success.
Took it that first day, then I took it for 6 more days after that. 12 pounds melted off in about a week. I'd say a week, 7 days.
2015 can be different. Diet and exercise are important, but a lot of us have already tried that. Oxy Powder flushes it out. Secure your Oxy Powder at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. Sold out for weeks due to the difficult and extensive proprietary process behind its creation, the exclusive InfoWars Life Secret 12 formulation is now back in stock in the last limited shipment of 2014. The most bioactive form that has been created with our proprietary process. This ultra-clean vitamin B12 nutraceutical has been carefully crafted and developed over the last 2 years and is based on cellular science of how your body actively absorbs essential nutrients. Secret 12 is taken by mouth, right on the tongue, and then swallowed. No needles, no injections. Vitamin B12 deficiency is linked to scores of serious problems. And Secret 12 is a fusion of 2 organic proprietary forms of vitamin B12, bringing you a true nutraceutical quality vitamin B12. Secret 12. Secret 12 is an excellent Christmas gift and is tailor-made to boost your New Year's resolutions. Supplies of Secret 12 are very limited. Secure yours today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. InfoWarsLife.com. Check it out today. I have set out to bring you the most hardcore, cutting-edge supplements and nutraceuticals, bar none. And that's what you'll find at InfoWarsLife.com. We have rejected literally hundreds of products from the InfoWars Life line because they are not of the very highest quality, or because they're not 100% organic, or because they don't pass all of the strictest toxicology tests there are that we have listed at InfoWarsLife.com. Whether it's Survival Shield Nascent Iodine or DNA Force, Super Male Vitality, Super Female Vitality, Lung Cleanse, Fluoride Shield, Oxy Powder. I believe that all of these products will blow you away like they've done the thousands of other customers that have visited InfoWarsLife.com and believed in us and tried the products. Folks, check out InfoWarsLife.com today and the entire line of groundbreaking, cutting-edge, hardcore products.
We now take you live to the Central Texas Command Center in the heart of the resistance. It's Alex Jones.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight in Austin, and joining me now is Paul Joseph Watson from the UK. Paul?
Hey, David. Good to be back.
Thanks for coming back. Now, you've got an article up today. We were just talking about one of them that we're going to cover in a few minutes here. California Highway Patrol describes itself as a paramilitary organization. But another one of the articles that you've got up, let's talk about this one first. You won't believe Michelle Obama's definition of racism. Tell us what her definition of racism is.
Well, David, how many times have you been walking through a department store and you're mistaken for a member of staff, or you mistake somebody else to be a member of staff?
Yeah. Yeah, that's happened to me
all the time. It happened to me 3 weeks ago. I was looking at Levi jeans, sorting through the different jeans, and somebody came up and said, "Do you have this size?" You know, I said, I don't work here. We both laughed. No big deal. According to Michelle Obama, that's racist. If you're black and that happens to you, it's racist. And it basically stems from this 2011 photo op where Michelle Obama went to a Target store to buy Lysol disinfectant product, as if you believe that Michelle Obama cleans the White House. there just happened to be an AP photographer there, just by coincidence.
Yeah.
The Secret Service swept the store 30 minutes beforehand, but it was all one big coincidence. It wasn't a staged photo op at all, because the Obamas never engage in that kind of behavior. And basically, she told this story subsequently about how a Target shopper had asked Michelle Obama, who was incognito, she was wearing ordinary clothes, trying to look like an ordinary person in this incident that wasn't a photo op. So this Target shopper asks Michelle Obama to reach for a product, detergent, to hand her the product, not recognizing who Michelle Obama was, like that would even matter. So the first question is, why does Michelle Obama think that that's even a story? The fact that this Target shopper doesn't know who she is.
Well, if she's going there to get Lysol products to clean the toilets of the White House, I think she's got a racism gripe with her husband, right? Why has he got her cleaning the toilets of the White House? I mean, the whole narrative is absolutely absurd. And of course, like you pointed out, they're going to sweep the store. They've got photographers there for the photo op, but of course, nobody recorded that incident.
Well, exactly. And she went on Letterman 2 years later and talked about this amazing story, which isn't even a story. The fact that we're even talking about it just shows how pompous she is to think that this is some kind of big event, that somebody didn't know who she was. So she went on Letterman last year and said, you know, she quoted the person, "Can you reach on that shelf and hand me the detergent?" And she said it was a short woman who couldn't reach the product. So she asked Michelle Obama, being tall as she is, to hand her the product. And Michelle Obama said, "That was my interaction. I felt so good." Okay, that was last year. Suddenly, a year later, she gives an interview with People magazine. And let's articulate the context here. The headline of the interview is "The Obamas, How We Deal with Our Own Racist Experiences." So it's basically Michelle Obama reeling off these examples of how herself and Barack Obama have been stereotyped and had these racist implications made against them in these different scenarios. So one of them she mentioned was Obama was wearing a tuxedo. Somebody mistook him for a waiter at an event. So clearly this is about racist experiences in their view, as the headline tells us. And then the other story...
Was it a Goldman Sachs dinner that he was attending? I'm sorry, go ahead.
But the other story was the Target story. So she took this kind of feel-good story that she talked about on Letterman just a year ago and turned it into this insidious undercurrent of racism. Basically, she told the same story again, but now the implication, given the context of the interview, was that this Target shopper asked Michelle Obama for help, mistaking her to be a Target employee because she was black.
Well, I think she should be astonished that anybody in America would think that a black woman would have a job in this economy, because they've really been hit worse than anybody else under the Obama administration. I think if you walk into Target and you're wearing a red shirt, somebody is going to come up to you. So don't wear a red shirt into Target. But I don't. It's just absolutely amazing. Let's talk about this California Highway Patrol thing, because that's very serious. And it's just underscoring, again, the kind of comments that we see thrown in our face over and over again, that they're just casually putting this stuff out or deliberately putting it out this way. We saw in the comments earlier this week in Washington, and our reporters are there now in Washington State and Spokane, the MRAP expedition that they had going at a Walmart, showing off their toys. They were questioned by a lady who said, "Why, you know, what do you use this for?" He gave told her about its capabilities, and then she said, "Why would you need that here?" And he said, "It's to protect us against the constitutionalists, the people who are stockpiling weapons." Well, they're the ones stockpiling weapons, and they're the ones now, Paul, who are bragging about the fact that they are a paramilitary organization. Tell us about that story up on Infowars.com.
Yeah, this is from the official CHP.gov website, California Highway Patrol, largest police agency in America. And basically now they're using this term and embracing it, paramilitary organization, to try and recruit new cadets. So it's actually on at least 3 different sections of their website where they say, for example, the California Highway Patrol is often described as a paramilitary department, and that's true. The uniforms, ranks, and insignias, chain of command, and long-standing traditions resemble a military organization. And one of their documents that all new applicants for the role of cadet have to fill in, they say, are you willing to work in a paramilitary organization operating under a structured chain of command? Then there's a third example, recruiting America's best to be California's finest. So this is aimed at ex-military personnel. And they state, quote, former military personnel easily fit into CHP's workforce and adapt well to our paramilitary work environment. So every time, rather than emphasizing, you know, upholding the oath, protect and serve, it's not about that. It's about fitting into this gang culture of a paramilitary unit.
And again, I don't know what's para about it. I mean, para means semi, quasi, whatever. There's nothing that is para about our militarized police. Do we have a para police state? I mean, we can see what's going on, and now the gloves are coming off. They don't say we're a military organization because that would wake a few people up, but they're getting that close to admitting that it's a police state, that it's a militarized police state when they put this out there. And of course, those are the people that they're actively selecting out. They want people who are going to utilize their military training against the American people. And we know that's what they're training for, as we've been talking about all week, as we've got our reporters who are now in Washington State. That is the narrative that has been fed to the police departments. I know that I've been given information from a police, somebody that has seen the documents where they put things like the Bundy Ranch in a timeline, tying it to things like the Oklahoma City bombing, the Bundy Ranch, and then the Las Vegas shooting, just as we saw this sheriff in Washington State do. That's the narrative that they're pushing. That's the kind of guilt by association. I'm sure that he wouldn't want us hanging the police brutality crimes of other police departments on him, guilt by association, and yet they do that with people who are constitutionalists, even though these people who shot the officers in Las Vegas were ejected from the Bundy Ranch. Anybody can show up and do a photo bomb at a public event. And of course, we have the police putting in agent provocateurs in many public demonstrations. So that doesn't really prove anything, but they use it to demonize the people who are protesting at the Bundy Ranch with a legitimate protest. They use it to demonize InfoWars as well.
Yeah, and I mean, they were forced to walk that back a little bit when people pointed out the fact that those two lunatics who killed the cop and draped them with the Gadsden flag attempted to support the Bundy Ranch, get onto the complex, were turned away because the Bundy people did a background check on them, knew they had some records against them, and were basically people they didn't want to associate with.
Exactly. Why you have to be able to purge the bad guys out of your organizations. Frank Serpico said the police are a cross-section of society, assuming that they're not screening specifically for militarized people. But, you know, according to Frank Serpico, for a long time, it has been the case that they've been a cross-section of society. He said, well, you're going to get good people and you're going to get bad people. The question is, are you going to do something about the bad people? They did something about the bad people at the Bundy Ranch. We haven't seen anything done about the bad people in most of these police departments.
Exactly. And going back to California, I mean, we see this kind of militarized training and this military outlook with a story that we put out last year, for example, AP photo, checkpoint cops point guns at Americans' heads. Mm-hmm. This was a story about an individual who had got into a firefight with police, then holed himself up in a local suburb. Basically, they set up a checkpoint, Fallujah style, pointed guns at everybody's heads who went through that checkpoint. You can see the photo. They're pointing a semi-assault rifle directly at this driver's head. Looks nothing like the criminal they later caught who they were looking for. So these tactics are already being implemented, as they were, as this article points out, after Boston, where they went house to house ransacking homes. As Ron Paul pointed out, that those scenes were in many ways more frightening than the actual Boston Marathon bombing itself, the terror that was meted out during those house-to-house sieges. So, I mean, as we point out in the article, California Highway Patrol has got a lot of problems with corruption, more than most. So the fact that they're now not only describing themselves as a paramilitary unit, which bizarrely a lot of people in the comments seem to be very comfortable with. But now they're openly embracing it, enticing ex-military personnel to become police officers by emphasizing the fact that it's almost entirely